Welcome to Micro Metal Mondays. Good afternoon to all the metalheads across the land. My name is Alan Halley, and on our first installment of Micro Metal Mondays, we will be discussing perhaps one of the most important thrash metal albums in history. Definitely one of the most important thrash metal albums of all time, but perhaps one of the most important metal albums of all time. That is Rust in Peace by Megadeth. It was released in 1990, it is Megadeth's fourth studio album. It features Dave Mustaine on rhythm guitar and lead vocals, Marty Freeman on lead guitar, David Ellefson on bass, and Nick Menza on drums. It's an interesting story before we move on. A future band we will be covering on the show, Pantera, their drummer, Vinnie Paul, and his brother, the lead guitarist for Pantera, Dimebag Darrell. Dimebag Darrell auditioned for the role of Marty Freeman before this album, not too long before this album. He got the part, however. He wanted his brother in the band also on drums, but Dave Mustaine had already got Nick Menza to come on the drums for this album. This album features some of the most blisteringly fast riffs that you will ever hear on a metal album. Holy Wars, The Punishment Due, the first track off the album, features 3 beautiful solos from Marty Freeman and 1 unbelievably fast solo from Dave Mustaine. That song is split into 2 parts: The Holy Wars and The Punishment Due. The Punishment Due part of the song was written about the Marvel character The Punisher, of whom the band had wrote many other songs about. It's a character they're very fond of writing about. And the start of the song, the Holy Wars part, was inspired by the Troubles in Northern Ireland. Well, not particularly inspired by, but inspired by events that the band were involved in. The band had seen Paul McCartney say, "Give Ireland back to the Irish." They didn't really know what this meant. They were American. They didn't have much knowledge of what was going on with the Troubles. And when they entered Northern Ireland, they were surprised at all the armoured vehicles going around Belfast. And they were playing a show, and a young boy in the front row threw a pound coin or something of that nature at the lead singer. He went backstage in a fit of rage, drank a ton of, I believe it was, schnapps, and came back out on the stage, said, "Give Ireland back to the Irish," and they began to play then Anarchy in the UK, a cover of the Sex Pistols. And the crowd split in 2, and there was a massive riot throughout Belfast that night. And the singer didn't remember any of it. The next morning he woke up and he wrote that song. He wrote Holy Wars. Now, this goes to show you how good the production of this album is. Also, because when I first heard this song, because the way it's wrote, you wouldn't think it's about Northern Ireland. It's very much left open-ended about Holy War. So I thought it was actually about the Iraq War. So I thought this song came out in the middle 2000s, because the production is just that good. For an album that came out in 1990, first time I listened to it, I thought it came out in the mid-2000s. Even with the tremendous effort that all members of the band put in, Marty Freeman really stands out with some of the most melodic and breathtaking solos ever put to tape on a metal track. This is a must listen for any metalhead. I highly recommend this album. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for listening. I've been Alan Halley. Please like and subscribe.